All right, so if you're like me, then you probably have tried a dating app at some point in your life. Yeah, dating apps, I don't know. I think that they're just rigged against men. I can't really prove it beyond like my own personal experience and experiences from the past. Now, just to preface, I am dating right now. And so I'm not quite in the same situation where I'm like currently swiping and things like that. I am lucky. I will definitely say I am lucky to be out of that game right now. It would suck to be a single guy right now. I'm sorry if many of you guys are probably out there, probably single. But I just want to say, dating apps are rigged against men. I've got a couple of points as to why I think this is the case right now. Again, from personal experience in the past, I will tell a couple of stories, or maybe at least a story, as well as just say some anecdotal, facts and figures about what's going on in the dating market. And so the main apps I'm talking about are like things like Bumble, Tinder, and the main one being Hinge. Hinge is actually the one that I used the most back when I was single. And I've got not horror stories necessarily, but just negative experiences. So first thing I want to talk about in terms of dating is how much of a struggle it is right now, right? Matching, texting, the talking phase, whether to move to Instagram, whether to, start, I don't know, when to meet up, ghosting. Like I'm going to talk about a lot of things in this particular video, but let's start off with the first thing. Women have it far easier than men, right? First off, they have way more choice, right? The top, I would say the 80% of women's attention goes to the top 10 to 15% of men. And as you guys know, there's a ton of men. So amongst 100 men, 10 of them are going to get attention. Whereas for women, it's probably more so along the lines of like 50 to 60. And so, yeah, a lot more women are going to get messages or are going to see stuff and, probably going to get swiped on than men. Only the top of the top are going to get, attention when it comes to men. And it's because of something that, the internet has deemed as the illusion of choice, right? And I'm sure that you guys have noticed this too, even in the gaming scene, right? When it comes to like Black Ops 7 versus Battlefield 6, you have a choice. And so both games, both markets are going to have to actually, they're going to have to actually start trying, right? And so yeah, it gets to a point where when there's the illusion of choice, and in this case, there is choice because, women can easily say, oh, I want someone who looks richer, someone who's taller, someone who has bigger biceps, someone who has more facial hair. There's every little thing you can whittle down because the dating apps are designed essentially to get you exactly what you want. But at the same time, and I'll talk about this later, dating apps are meant so that you are still on them. They say like quote unquote designed to be deleted. That doesn't make any sense because if that was true, how are they ever going to make money, right? If their goal was to get every single person just matched up, and I'm sure there are success stories. I know people in real life and, I know people in real life who have had success stories. I'm not saying it doesn't work or anything like that, but they are designed for a purpose. They're designed so people spend money, people spend their consistent time on it. I think there was a study done the other day, not the other day, but back in the day when they compared like swiping and refreshing, kind of like how Instagram and Reels and all that stuff like reloads the feed. They compared it to gambling. I think in a way, dating apps, Hinge in particular, it's designed to kind of be like gambling a little bit, where it's meant to be addictive. You're supposed to log on every, 8 hours, 12 hours, whatever it is. You're supposed to consistently log on and see like, oh, are there new matches? Oh, did I get a new pool to choose from today? It's designed to keep you logging in every single day. And yeah, it's very advantageous for women. It's rigged against men because, again, men, only the top of the top men get attention. Only the top of them are going to get likes and swipes and stuff like that. Now, let's talk about ghosting. I've had my experience of being ghosted. I think many men will by the time they're 30, they'll probably have been ghosted at least a couple of times. And, with you Gen Z people and millennials, like, I don't even want to begin to think what it's going to be like dating in the next, 5 to 10 years, dude. It's going to be, it's going to be bad. There's going to be so much just complete ghosting. Like you think ghosting's bad now. I think it's just going to get worse and worse. The better technology goes, the better, AI things happen. People are just going to, communicate less and less. It's going to be less and less effective. It's going to be more and more just not robotic, I want to say, but like not humane, right? It's going to be more and more like automatic computer generated. People just aren't going to talk to each other. Like we already text way too much. We're already on Instagram. We're sending reels rather than like actually asking about like how weekends are. Yeah, I don't know. People are like the human civilization in society is like it's on its way to being chalked. I don't think AI is a good thing. But again, we'll talk about that in a future video if you guys are interested in that talk. Today, we're talking about how modern dating is ruined or rigged against men. Ghosting is tough. I've had my share of experiences. And so I would say I'll share my recent story about Hinge, and recent is like a few years ago because I have been dating for a while now. But yeah, in terms of like quote unquote recent. I met somebody on Hinge, and we swiped and things like that. It was all right. It wasn't the smoothest conversation by any means, but it actually turned out to be like a date fairly quickly, which is again pretty rare. I think in terms of like luckiness, I think that's actually pretty luck. I think many girls tend to kind of enjoy like stringing guys along. They don't really, I don't know. They want to make sure like, oh, they're a good person first, or they want to make sure there's not a better option out there, which by the way is kind of like messed up if you think about it. Like I'm sure guys do the same thing, but yeah, it just kind of sucks. People are people. They're not items. They're not like things on a menu board that's like, oh, maybe I can get a tastier burger at this restaurant. Like it's not like that. We're people, every single person, not to sound too cheesy, but every person has their own worth, their own values, and their own, just worth. Like they are worth something to somebody. And for people to just be like, nah, you're not tall enough. Nah, you're too fat for me. Like it's messed up, right? You guys know this, but anyway, I'm on this app and we're talking. We go on like 3 dates in like a week or so. And like in the midst of it, she's telling me, all this stuff about how like she's going on multiple dates, which honestly I should have thought of as a red flag already. And, she's talking to me about this stuff and I'm like, okay, like why are you telling me this stuff? Like, are you supposed to like, am I supposed to be nervous? Am I supposed to be like not sure what's going to happen next? Which looking back on it, she probably did want me to think that. Anyway, fast forward to the end of the second date, and she goes like, oh, like, you'll probably be happy to know, like, I canceled or like I stopped talking to like one more dude. So like, it's just you and like 1 or 2 other guys. Now I forget what she said exactly, but she basically said it as in like we're on like Love Island or like Love is Blind or whatever those shows are these days. And it's like, oh, I'm close to picking you, like stay hopeful, let's keep going on dates. And I don't know. I watch a lot of like videos back in the day about like, oh, don't let girls like say certain stuff to you, like make sure you're still the man and things like that. And so I was a little, jaded at the moment. And so I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, like you do you, I'll do me. But somewhere along the line around the 3rd date, I think I started, kind of thinking like, oh, okay, like she's still around. She's still texting me. She's giving me like a good amount of attention. It's like, okay, maybe this will go somewhere. And that was my mistake, because as soon as I kind of like gave in and like kind of played the game a little wrong, if you want to say, which I hate how there's a game in modern dating these days, by the way. I really hate, oh, maybe I should wait, 2 hours because she waited 5 hours to text me. Like, oh, dude, just stop. Like, we're not in 3rd grade. Just text someone if you're free, if you have the time. Like, no, you don't have to be like consistently glued to your phone, texting every 5 seconds back and forth. But don't play a game. If you're busy at work, you're busy at school, and you take a look at your phone, she texted back, just text her. She's not going to think, oh, you're super desperate. And if she does, is that really a girl you want to be with? Like, that's just sad. You know what I mean? Like, you're not in high school anymore. You're not 15. You're not 14 years old. Even back then, it's like, stop, dude, like grow up a little bit. But anyway, I'm assuming most of this viewer base is like 20s and 30s. And so you're probably not really dealing with that kind of stuff. Well, if you are, I think that's kind of sad. If you're dealing with a girl who's like, oh, you're texting me too much or too quickly, I would frankly just say, drop that girl. She seems to like playing games. Maybe she's used to it. Maybe she just needs the attention, or I don't know. I wouldn't entertain it. But for some reason, I guess I was like interested in her at the time. And so I played it wrong, and I was a little too available. She asked me basically just, oh, do you want to meet up like today? And I was down, I don't like cancel plans necessarily, but I was down, and I was a little too eager beaver about it. And I think that kind of kind of shaped in her head like, oh, okay, this dude is willing to drop things for me and we're not even dating yet. Like I've got him in the palm of my hand. And then I feel like once a girl feels that way, it's really hard. You kind of lost her, you know, because the sad thing is that certain girls, and I'm not saying you date these girls, but certain girls, you kind of like, they kind of need to have a chase. That's why they go for like the asshole rather than the nice guy, right? Because the asshole gives them a chase. They give them something like to look forward to shoot for. It's like girls, especially pretty girls, they're used to guys just like, oh, like you want to go on a date? Yep, I'm free. What time? Where? I'll pay. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Oh, I don't like that food, but let's do it. Like they're used to that. And so when a guy is just kind of breaks that norm and is not a like asshole per se, but it's like, oh, I actually don't like that place, or like, oh, I can't meet at 6. Like, well, let's do 8 instead. And, you know, they kind of stand their ground a little bit. Certain girls, they're going to be like, you know, that's not for me. But then certain other girls are going to respect that. They're going to be like, dang, this guy's sticking up for himself. The other 99 guys I'm talking to have not done that. Like this guy stands out. I was trying to be like that. But again, I slipped up, or maybe I was just tired of playing games. And yeah, she didn't like that. Essentially what happened, she ended up just pretty much ghosting me. Not entirely, because she kind of phased it out over a couple of days. And then, you know, I kind of could tell like the texting slowed down a lot. It was a lot less attention. And I was kind of like in my head, like, oh man, like, did I do something wrong? And then, you know, all of a sudden one morning, it's just like, hey, had a nice time, but like, you know, maybe let's just move on or something like that. I kind of forgot what she said. And I handled it pretty poorly. You know, it was embarrassing, but to be quite honest with you guys, I was a little sad. I was not ready for that talk, even though like it was like writing was on the wall. And I basically texted back. I was like, you know, like what happened? Like something happened wrong. Did I do something wrong? And this was a huge L, you know, huge mistake on my part. Don't ever do this if you're in the situation like me. Don't ever just, you know, pity and cry about it and ask what you did and things like that. Even if she would tell you the truth, which she probably won't tell you the truth. She'll probably just say like, oh, we're not compatible or whatever. Chances are she probably found someone better, especially if you met her on an app, right? She's probably found something or someone quote unquote better. Maybe it's just a better match and, you know, she's not even being mean about it, but you know, asking about that kind of thing, it's never going to lead to anything good. She'll never say anything that you really want to hear or don't want to hear. And so, yeah, that was my mistake. That was my actually last Hinge online dating story, because after that, I found my girlfriend and we are still together today. We are very happy. And so I'm hoping for the best for you guys. You know, obviously that's the point of making this video. Dating apps, I'm not saying they don't work, but they are heavily rigged against men. And one thing that I want to say, well, actually, there's two more things. The first thing I want to say is that apps like Hinge, they really encourage instant judgment. And I didn't like the person I was becoming when I was on the apps because, you know, just like the women do, I was also kind of just judging based on what I saw. I saw like 5 to 6 pictures or something like that of each girl. And yeah, some people read the prompts or whatever, but mostly it's just like, oh, are you pretty in my opinion? Yes. Okay, I'll swipe. No, then move on. You know, there wasn't really much back and forth about like, oh, you know, she's really funny based on her prompts. But I think with men, it's just kind of, we're visual creatures, you know, it's very, you know, clear to just be like, oh, okay, she's pretty. Like, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna shoot my shot. Or like talk to your friends about it. Like, oh, what do you think about her? You know, I think she's cute. And that's pretty much it for men. And I know it's true to a degree, but like, I didn't like who I was becoming, if that makes sense. I was just becoming just really, really superficial. And it was so easy to just be like, you know, oh, maybe I'm having a conversation with a girl, but then it's like, oh, she's, you know, I don't know. Oh, I just matched with like a prettier girl. Like, I'm not going to try that much in this conversation anymore. And I felt myself doing that. And I was like, dude, who am I becoming? Like, is that who I want to be? Like, as you guys know, I'm a Christian guy. I'm not trying to be like some asshole just to get a girl, you know, like I'm trying to be, I'm just trying to be somebody that is like respectable and that can just find love. I mean, that's what we're here for, but I'm not, you know, I'm not in the business of, I guess, trying to make people feel bad. And I feel like I was doing that when I was on the apps. You know, I was not ghosting people. I was definitely like just being too picky choosy when it doesn't really matter. You know, like looks fade over time, you know, especially with girls. Anyway, last thing I want to say is that apps also encourage, especially me, like a negative self-esteem. Like I was finding myself like certain days, like if it was like 2 or 3 days in a row, it's like, dang, I still don't have a match, or like, dang, no reply still. Like it was just wearing on me. And I think that's kind of like the emotional toll that dating apps take on everybody, but men in particular. It's like, especially because men don't have that kind of, I guess, consistent, like, oh, I'm getting 10 more matches every single day, like that girls probably do. Yeah, it wears on you. And I don't want that for you guys. I want you guys to succeed. I want you guys to win out there. Yeah, that's it for the video. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Comment below your dating stories. I'm curious to know. And I'll see you guys later. Subscribe if you're new, leave a like, and peace out.